Okay, thank you everybody that hopped on tonight and everybody that's going to watch the recording afterwards. This is our talk for December 18th. This is the second one this month. When we did that poll, it looked like most people wanted to do one every 2 weeks, which I really like too. One every week is kind of hard to jump on, and especially because we have the Momentum Mondays going every week. You know, there's already lots of information swelling around, but I think every 2 weeks is really good for us just to connect and, you know, get everybody back on the same page. And, you know, if there's anything anybody ever wants to discuss, you're totally able to do those on these calls. Maybe just give us a heads up at the beginning or at the very end before we close out, just say something and we can stop the recording and discuss whatever. So yeah, we'll get right into it. So this talk, we're going to go through the BS stories that we tell ourselves in 2017. I learned about this from the Brene Brown program that I did with Juice Plus that I really hope is going to be unveiled to you guys really soon. We're also going to talk about building a plan for 2018, solidifying your beliefs, as we always discuss, raise your vibration events, and the January shreds, because those are going to be really big. People have been asking about them, so we got to start getting that out there. So what BS stories did you tell yourself this year? You know, she talked about in her example, the program was designed to help us be better leaders. Really what I got out of it in the end was like how to be a better human all around. But she talked about an example of the bullshit stories that we tell ourselves. And her story was, you know, she had like a super hard day. She was working on this big project and just, you know, nothing seemed to be going right. It was one of those days where it just seemed like you did everything wrong. And then she got home and her husband was already home. And when she got home, he just said something from another room saying like, oh, you didn't pick up any sandwich meat. And she like went off in this big tyrant and had, you know, started a big argument. And they've, you know, they're both psychologists, so they've built this relationship up where they can say these things. And hopefully, you know, I hope to get to one of those points one day too. But her husband just simply said, whoa, what's the bullshit story you're telling yourself right now? And she went off on like, you know, by you saying that I didn't stop and pick up meat, you're saying that I'm not a good wife and I'm not a good mom and I can't do all the things that I'm supposed to do. And that's like, I had such an aha moment when she was sharing that, because I do that all the time. And I know so many of us do that all the time, right? We just make up these crazy stories in our head and just run with it sometimes before we even actually stop and analyze what's actually going on. So don't worry, I'm not going to make you say your shit or anything like that, but just take a moment to think about, you know, difficult times you had this year, or arguments you got into, or things that made you upset. What were you really telling yourself in that moment? Because yeah, some of it might have been true and your anger might have been totally valid, but lots of time it's not. And I know for me, lots of times it's not. Like I lose my shit and then I'll sit back after and it's like, yeah, that was kind of ridiculous. I didn't need to react that way, or I was mad about something that wasn't even happening, if I'm worrying about something in the future or angry about something in the past, you know. So just connect with those stories. What are you saying to yourself? Are you, when you're going out there and you get a no, are you telling yourself like, I'm not good enough, I'm not cut out for this? Of course, you know, when those people tell you that you can't do this, you know, you start telling yourself that they're right. You know, what are you telling yourself? So, you know, we talk nicely to everybody else around us all the time. We compliment other people. We need to start doing that for ourselves and talking nicely to ourselves and, you know, watching our language, watching the shit we say to ourselves. So, yeah, get in touch with your bullshit stories. And once I started doing this, like Jason would sit and he would usually be listening while he's working in the garage when I was doing these courses. And we actually started to implement these things in our relationships and when we would talk and stuff. And it helps so much, like just being able to recognize, hey, this is getting escalated, and just pausing and being like, okay, hey, what's the story you're telling yourself right now? And this is what I'm telling myself. Like we're on two totally different pages here. And let's get back to the problem. And it's so easy to get off like that because life is busy, and you know, who knows what happened in the day that already irritated you before you got to that argument or whatever you're in. So just start to recognize the stuff that you tell yourself. So building a plan for 2018. We need a direction to know where we're headed, right? So I really love 90-day game plans or 90-day plans, whatever you want to call them. So it's about like 3 months, right? 3 months is a really great time for this business. Like you can achieve SC in 3 months, you can achieve your next level in 3 months. So I really think that 3 months is a great block of time to set out goals in, and that gives us 4 quarters in each year. So I want you to start thinking very seriously about your first quarter, so January, February, and March. What goals do you want to be hitting by March? And then think about what do you need to be doing to get those goals. So if you want to get to SC, then you need to help 2 people fast track to VF. How are you going to do that? How are you going to meet these new people? You know, are you going to go out to a new class? Are you going to cold call more people? Are you going to message people on Instagram? Are you going to start going in mummy groups on Facebook and trying to find connections there? You know, start getting your brain thinking about where you can meet these people and how you're going to meet these goals, because it's great for us all to think about what we want and write down these big fancy goals, but we need to make like a solid roadmap on how we're going to get there, or they're really just dreams, right? So think about what you need to do. And sometimes we also need to think about things we need to stop doing. So, you know, are we scrolling too much? I know that's a big one for me, that I'm going to try and really put myself on like a phone budget, if you want to call it, and only use my phone or have it around at certain hours of the day, because I can get so easily distracted scrolling. Like I'll think about something I want to look up on Facebook, and then an hour's gone by of me doing nothing. You know, so do you have to stop doing things like that? Do you have to, you know, not watch so much TV or whatever it might be? You know, if you really want these goals and you want to achieve them, because if you watch the leaders before us, we know that really amazing things can happen if we really strive and push in this business. So, you know, if we want to achieve those goals, we got to think about the things that we might just have to not do for a few months, you know, that are going to help us get there. So I'm going to try and share my other screen. Stop sharing. And so I'm going to link this. Can you see this thing that says best year ever, where it's got a calendar on it?
I see blackness.
Oh. It might just be the service is too slow, but I'll link this up there. It's a workbook from Mel Robbins. I've linked other videos from her on our page. She is like, I don't know, she's the bomb. I just love her. She's the one that come up with the 5-second rule, you know, the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, get your ass in bed or whatever it is. And I did this last year, and I wish I had stuck more to it. And I'm really excited that she unleashed it again for this year. And really, it's a workbook designed to help you plan out your next year, but also close up your last year. Because yes, it's all great for us to, you know, set New Year's goals or New Year's resolutions or think about what we want to do next summer or whatever. But if we're not really ending off 2017 solidly, then we're just kind of dragging that year's shit into the next year. So I really love this booklet that she puts together, because it really asks you a lot of questions that make you think about things you probably wouldn't have, and it asks that second and third question, right, to get you deeper. So it asks you things like, what goals did you blow off or fail to achieve? You know, yeah, it might make us feel shitty to acknowledge those, but if we don't know where we failed, right, we don't know how to grow there. So for me, it would be tons of opportunities or ideas that I've had that I never, you know, saw through to the end. That would be my thing. And then I would sit down, it asks you why. So then I would, you know, start diving deep and why didn't I do those? Because I was scared. I was scared I'd be embarrassed, or that I'd screw up, or that I wouldn't be good enough. You know, and then now I know why I didn't do those things, right? So now I can work on those things that aren't going to stop me from doing those goals anymore. So I'm looking at maybe going and checking out Toastmasters, or going to networking events where, you know, you're just meeting different people. So it forces you to, you know, get out there and talk. For me, I'm like really introverted. So going out there and just talking to random people is really hard. Like I was sweating like a pig before the craft sale on Saturday. I had never done one of those before. And I'm super glad that I pushed myself to do it, because I was definitely telling myself on Wednesday, what kind of excuse can I come up with to get out of this? Like, I've had my success sitting behind a screen, and that's just where I'm comfortable. But it was so good for me to push myself out of my comfort zone. And yes, there was lots of scary, uncomfortable moments where I fumbled over my words and I felt goofy, but nobody cared, nobody said anything, nobody laughed. I was fine in the end, and I felt so much better at the end of the day that I had stuck with it, stayed the whole day, and met a lot of new people. So, this thing is really going to be great to for our businesses and also your family life and everything. It really takes everything into account. So as soon as this call is done, I'll link it into our group. So January shreds. Let's get our butts moving on those. So I know we had talked about some dates, and I don't think that the 2nd was one of them to start, but all of this stuff is made with the 2nd. So what does everybody think if we do the first shred with the 2nd to the 11th, I think it is? All of our faces are hiding it for me. There we go. Does everybody feel okay with that? Since there's so many graphics already made with those dates on them, that just saves us a lot of work. If anybody has anything to say about that, you can drop it in the chat box or say something. And then we also talked about doing a second one. So we got to focus on this one, but I think right now is the time to start posting it out there. We're going to do the 2nd to the 11th and just start, sharing, inviting. Lots of people are thinking about this stuff. Like, I had tons of people ask me at the crafts sale, and in the last 2 days, people have been messaging me asking if we're doing a January shred. So people are wanting this, so we have to get out there, promote it. I think we've all done one before. Kim, you're doing one right now, and your posts are awesome, so that's a great momentum starter. If we get the orders in, yeah, they should be, as long as you get the orders in by the 26th. I think headquarters is open on the 26th. But yes, that is a good thought. I'll phone headquarters in the morning and confirm that. Good thinking, though. And if not, then we'll just bump it a couple days ahead. But yeah, start pushing it out there. I will phone headquarters like as soon as Ash gets on the bus in the morning and get the answer to what days they're actually going to be open and what shipping is going to be like. But you can start talking to people tomorrow and just say it's going to start the first week of January and start getting people ready. And then the no's. I'm going to try and share my screen again. Hopefully it works. Getting those no's and celebrating them, right? We have to get over, I have to, like, I'm not just saying this to all of you when I'm talking to myself too, just so you know. But we all have to get over the no's. Like, when you get a no, it's a good thing. It means you're out there. You're spreading the word. You're getting out there. You're sharing the message, and that's what it's all about. So, celebrate those no's. Can you see my screen? Yeah. Okay. So
it's showing up on mine.
Yay. So this I found in the Team Synergy site. And I'm going to encourage you all to go and find this and print this out and actually do it. I did this last year when I was pushing for SSC so that I could go to Montreal, and it was really good. It really, at first, the first like 5 are they're hard. You're actually chasing no's. No, we don't want people to say no, but they do. Lots of people do say no. That's part of it. Dripping. I said no to Lori lots and in a lot of rude ways. So just keep going out there and getting those no's. And just, once you start, like, I use the bingo dabber, once you start dabbing them, it gets so satisfying because you just know that you're out there talking to people. And as you're getting all these no's, you're also getting yeses and orders going through in that mix too. So print this out, do it. And when it says reward, actually reward yourself. Go out. It doesn't have to be something fancy. Just, even if you go out for 5 minutes without the kids and have a coffee, or go for a walk, or do something with a girlfriend, or go get your nails done, whatever. But reward yourself for getting your butt out there and talking to people and pushing yourself out of the comfort zone. So this is a great tool. Go and check it out. Um, let's see. I'm not going to open it because it doesn't look like it's going to let us, but go into the Team Synergy Inspire site, and it was at the very bottom in business documents, I think, and that opened up a Dropbox window, and it had tons of really great stuff I had never found before. So go and check that out, and that's where the No Grids is. So raising your vibration events. I know I've talked about these before, and I'm going to find a way to kind of like bootleg the video for us tomorrow because it's posted into the upper leadership. So I can't share it to you guys. So I'm going to try and do a Zoom tomorrow during the day and record it and then share it with our team. So hopefully that'll work. But this poster here has the principles of what it's all about. Pretty much it goes off the book, You Are a Badass, is kind of the frame that they followed. And if you haven't read that book, I totally recommend getting it. It's on YouTube actually for free if you want to listen to it. But we talk about abundance, mindfulness, personal growth, and health. So it's about an hour-long event. They've been doing them at little cafes and restaurants. So they've been working out really well for the girls in Alberta, and I just think that it's such a great idea to just spread these messages, because we just all need to live a better life, and it's possible with simple tools. And if we just keep sharing this with people, we are really going to create a movement, and we already have, because people are talking about it. It was really interesting to hear actually some of the stories of people that we have shared Juice Plus with, telling me about all the amazing things that they've experienced since starting at the craft sale this weekend. I'm just reading the chat, sorry. Yeah, Mel, after a birthday would be nice. I do want cake. And the first is great because it's the first, but I, for one, know that I'm probably going to be hungover, and I'm not going to want to start dieting on a hangover day. And most people are going to party on New Year's and not feel very good on January 1st. So that was my only thought with that. But if you guys want to push for January 1st, I will keep my shit together, and I will not be hungover, and I will take one for the team. So we can put up a vote and see what people want to do. But yeah, that was just my thought on the first, is lots of people don't feel very good on the first, and they're not going to want to start something like that then. So with the Raise Your Vibrations, I will try very hard to post that video tomorrow, or even if I can just type out a script or something, just to give you an idea of it. But really, they do it in teams. The first couple were Sandy and Michelle doing them together, and they just stand up there and share. And I've got most of it typed out, actually. So there's a script. You don't have to come up with anything or anything like that. So just start thinking about people to collaborate with. There was a new thing put up in, I have about 102 things open, so this might not work. Sorry guys, bear with one sec. I believe it's in my internet's going really slow. Oh yeah, it's in the Healthy Living Revolutions, and it talks about collaborating with people, finding people in your community that you can join arms with, and that Juice Plus would really fit well with their business that they're already doing. So for me, I'm planning to do a Raise Your Vibe event with my yoga instructor, because it's going to benefit her and she can totally talk about the mindfulness and literally raising your vibrations and all the yoga and stuff that comes with it. And then I'll take the personal growth and the health side of it. So, start jogging your mind and thinking about who you could collaborate. Who do you know in your life? Do you know somebody who does yoga? Do you know a gymnast or fitness trainer, personal trainer, chiropractors, cooking instructors, nutritionalists? Think about these people that are around you, and events and things that you could be doing with them. And I know that the Raise Your Vibe event, I really I love it a lot, and I think that it'll work really well with us because everybody can connect with something in those talks. I don't think anybody's going to go home not getting some sort of value from it. So, and when they started, they were calling them events, and in the end, now they're actually calling them workshops because they noticed that people were taking home so many notes at the end of it that it wasn't really just a fun evening. People were actually learning a lot and taking lots home. So start thinking about them. I am going to post, I just have to talk to the venue that I'm working with and finalize the date, and then I will post it. And, you know, if you are able to come, I would totally love that because I just love my family there. But it will be good to get everybody involved and see what we're doing and, yeah, get them rolling out there. I just think it'll be a really great idea for everybody and just keep our movement going. Because, yes, we want Juice Plus in everybody, but it's also about, you know, building a better, brighter future for your whole family. So back to the beliefs again, as we talk about every single meeting, because they don't go away. And even when you've got the strong belief in all three, you can lose belief in one of the next week, right? It's not a constant. You have to continually work on it. So we're not going to go too deep into it, but I just want you to take an actual moment and think, you know, do you have super belief in the product? When you are talking to somebody or you see somebody sick, do you think of Juice Plus right away and want to share it with them? Do you feel that the product has done really good things for you? Are you happy about it? Think about the business. What do you know about this business? Sometimes just going back and reading like the business bio for me gives me more confidence, like that we've been around for 40 years, that Jay Martin's been the leader the whole time, we're debt free, you know, things like that just make me solid again in the business and reminded that I'm backed by something really, something to be proud of. And then the biggest one all the time is always the belief in us. So that goes back to those bullshit stories we're telling ourselves. Make sure you're saying nice words to yourself and celebrating when you do something good, or when you go and get that no, or when you share with somebody new. You know, make sure that you are congratulating yourself and being proud of yourself for doing that, because it's scary. Like, it's hard, and we feel all feely about doing it before we do it because it's hard. So once you've done it, celebrate it. Be proud. You know, celebration's not just for sporting events, which when you think about it, Tony Robbins, I think, says this: nobody really celebrates anything, right? When do we ever like hurrah, clap, and like get super excited and yell? The only time that happens is at a sporting event. And we're not even connected to those players. Like, they don't know who we are. So start celebrating for yourself. If you do something good in the day, you know, and you get excited about it, stop and have a little dance, clap, high five the kids, whatever, but take a moment to be proud of yourself and own it. And then with the build yourself up, you know, building your beliefs, personal growth, personal growth, personal growth. If you feel stuck, build you, because that's where everything comes from. People buy into us way before they buy into the products in the business. So just keep working on you. It is a forever journey. And yes, it's not always fun, but it is super worth it. So that is it for me. I'm super proud of myself, actually. I didn't ramble too much. So I just want to say Merry Christmas to everybody, and I hope you guys all have a really great weekend and lots of yummy dinners. And if we don't connect or talk before Christmas, I hope all the kiddos have fun and everybody gets what they want. And yeah, I will see you all on the next call at 10. Unless anybody has anything else to add, I'm just going to stop the recording.